21st of March, YouTubers. Call Brad Wenstrup. Because this...
The Capital Operator, may I help you?
Yeah, can you connect me with Brad Wenstrup's office, please? Oh, wow.
Sure, one moment.
Thank you, young lady.
Yeah.
This is Congressman Brad Wenstrup's office. How can I help you?
Yeah, did Charles make it back in?
So he's still not available, sir, but I'd be more than happy to pass along a message to him for you.
Well, it's gonna be quite lengthy message. So, are you looking for him to come in anytime soon?
Yeah, so he's actually unfortunately been pulled away for some committee business. But like I said, if I can give him a succinct message for you,
Oh no. Actually, this message is definitely not for Charles. Who am I speaking with?
This is Jake, the staff assistant for the congressman.
Okay, Jake, the staff assistant for We the People.
Yes, sir.
My name is James Preston, and I am calling in because there is so much garbage going on right now, and I'm trying to make as many statements as I can. And these are orders. These are not suggestions. We the people are sick and tired of the garbage that's going on. Now, I know that Brad is up and he's going to bail out of there at the end of this year or whatever, because he's had the cushy ride up until now, and now there's people like myself and many others that I'm calling in for that are like-minded here. What in the hell is going on with our country? And when I say our country, I'm not talking about Brad's, because Brad is supposed to be representing us, so he doesn't really have a say in this right now. Our country is being invaded. It's not just being invaded, we're already invaded, because I'm looking right now at a guy that's on TV here, and he's an invader, and he is absolutely furious, and he is screaming out the message and telling all the other invaders right now. Have you seen this, by the way?
Not, sir.
Okay.
Do you have a title for the video?
I absolutely do. If you look up, it's Mark Dice is the guy's channel. Look up, they're coming to a neighborhood near you. And if you want to see, he's on X and everything else too, but this is Mark Dice's channel here.
YouTube channel, correct, sir?
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, this invader here is screaming out to all of his other invaders that come to America and find a property that is not occupied and just walk in and take it over. All you have to do is go in and repair one little thing and claim it as your own. And you can't throw them out. So,
we certainly don't want that, sir. But please go ahead, I'm sorry.
So the huge thing that's going on here, the problem that we have, we already see what's happening here. We said that 2024 was going to be a big major thing. Things were really going to start showing. Well, here we go. We're starting to figure this out, but we're only seeing the little tip of the iceberg. We're only seeing the beginning of a huge plan that's already played out. And here's the thing. We only see what's presented to us, but we don't see what their next step is, which is the problem. But these invaders are coming. They're moving into these houses and stuff like that we Americans own. They're ours. They belong to us. Well, how do you start weakening America so that they own nothing and be happy? Well, they're already doing it. This is the plan. It's playing out here, see? Because, first of all, do away with any borders, okay? So, and they are saying they don't care if it's called America or anything else. They don't care. To them, it's just a piece of property. Okay, their property. They want to claim it.
Are you talking about the Democrats, sir?
Well, you know what? Absolutely, I'm talking about Democrats, but I'm talking about BlackRock. I'm talking about George Soros. I'm talking about the new kid now. What's that?
Is the Rothschild family?
Yeah, Rothschild. Absolutely, good for you. Thank you very much. Now, but you have all these people that have been able to get money because of the way that it's set up. So America says, okay, let's make it a capitalism. So if you go out and you work and you earn something, the more you do, the smarter you are, or the better decisions that you make, you get rewarded for it because you can earn money from doing that. Well, you always have some demon rat sicko elite or something like that, just like George Soros. Look how he actually made his money. I mean, he made a huge bundle off of shorting the pound. Okay, if you don't know what shorting the pound is, I'm not going to get into that because I'm not a financial, I don't really understand all that or whatever, but he was betting that the pound would fail. Instead of the dollar, their pound, he went against it and said that it would fail, or that it wouldn't go up, that it would go down, or something like that. But he had so much stupid money from the sicko stuff that he did whenever he was coming up. He was the one that actually sold off the properties from the Jewish people when the travesty happened to, back when the, certain things on here, I got to watch what I say and stuff.
Understand.
So, but when that all happened, he was the turd that was involved with selling that stuff off. That's how he made his money. That's how he started. So he learned how to be a demon right off the bat, doing like the most demonic stuff possible, Okay, but you have these kind of people right now, and they are using our own laws against us. This is what they're doing. People, this is what they're doing. Like this screaming buffoon right here, this is he's telling all of them, come to America, and he's also telling the ones that's already here, which brings us to New York City. There's a huge invader place up there. They won't let you film it or anything. They won't let you in there to film. Okay, but now see, I hear you saying, yeah, tell me your name again. Jake, Jake the answer machine, everybody. Jake, I appreciate you being in there, brother.
Absolutely.
You're in there at a bad time in history, or either one a great, wonderful time in history. It remains to be seen, but I'm going to say it's a wonderful time, because right now, this ain't just me saying this. I mean, I've got everybody that is sending me messages, writing to me, talking to me. They come and see me. They stop me. They talk to me. All about the same stuff as what I'm bringing to you now. And that's the purpose of this video, this call, is because this guy is literally screaming out, go find empty homes, properties, and take them over. Because we found their laws. Did you pull it up, Jake?
The Mark Dice video, sir?
Yeah.
I can pull it up right now.
Okay, yeah, go to 450. Yeah, just start about 450 on the counter there.
All right, give me 1 second, sir.
And you'll see him. This is he's got almost bald headed or whatever, and he's a younger, military aged, probably early 20s, I'm going to guess. Might be 21 years old, something like that, 20, 21. But he is screaming out, come to America. And if you're already here, that's the key thing. The ones that's already here, just go and find an empty property and just walk in and take it over. And you want to know something? It's not a new concept. This is not a new thing. Me personally, sitting right here, I can tell you that I have lost thousands And I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars because I thought that I was going to put in apartments and everything, which I did. I built my own apartments and built the whole 9 yards. I went through the rezoning thing, you know, and doing it right, and I had to put in parking lots, so on and so forth. And then screen these people, and they will, believe it or not, everybody's, hold on, you're going to be shocked here, but they'll lie to you. And then they'll say that they own their car, they'll say that they have a job, they'll bring references and everything. And then,
are you talking about squatters on your property, sir? Is that what I heard?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was my personal in the past. I mean, I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on this because they will claim that they have, you know, everything, because you look for, you know, people that's able to pay you because of the work and the money that you put into the buildings and stuff like that. And then once they get in there, you find out it was a borrowed or rented car. They actually didn't have a job, and even when you call and you check their references and stuff, then later on, that when it comes time for you to get your first initial little pay, which is what you're going to use to actually take to the bank and make that payment for the property itself, they don't have it. But guess what? You can't go to the bank. You can't tell them, hey, I don't have that money because they didn't pay me. That's tough. That's tough on you. You know, because they will take over your property. So here you are now. You have to put up that money, you know, to the bank. So you got to make that payment. So how is it that the bank has authority to take that property, which is actually the government, because the banks are all owned by the damn government. I don't give a what anybody says. They're all owned by that, because any entity that's holding on to, which ain't money, it's just currency. But they are the ones that hold that. And then if you don't pay them, well, they just go and they take that property back for Uncle Sam, right? That's how you know that they work for the government. Because who give them the authority to go and then take that land? I mean, they loaned you the currency to buy it with, okay? But then if you don't pay them back the currency, then you see what I mean here? Anyway, that goes on and on and on. It's kind of not the major point. Well, it is actually, I take that back. It's all the point right now. But this invader right here, I mean, I'm telling you, there is not a scarier sight that you can be looking at than this dude right here. He is absolutely...
right now, sir.
Okay. That's an invader. He's here illegally. And right now in Illinois, do you know what they just, a judge just put out? That these right here that you're looking at are, by the Second Amendment, allowed to have guns. He ruled that the
unacceptable, sir.
What's that?
It's completely unacceptable. Sorry, please keep going.
It is, and no, good for you, Jake. I'm glad to hear you throwing that in there. See, this is, look. You're pointing out something, another topic that I was going to bring up. It's not a topic. This is a situation, people. We have a situation here, okay? But you just said a very key thing. We are watching in New York what's happening with New York, but I'll just get to the basis of what I'm talking about for this one in particular thing. There is a man who ordered pizza, and he took pieces of pizza and he threw it at the State House or whatever that is in New York. Pizza, biodegradable, probably would have been ate up by the birds and stuff like that. I really would. I'd like to see them do like what they're really doing in the other countries and stuff. Shout out to all those over there, all the farmers and stuff like that, because they're taking truckloads of shit and they're throwing it. And they're dumping it on the courthouse steps and everything else. Why? Why would you do that? Oh, no, don't do that to the government, right? No. You own it. They own it. Well, so why not take it and dump it on the steps? If you want to destroy your own property, you're allowed to do that. But you know what? It's not about destroying the property. What they're saying is, you're mucking with our food. And listen, this is not a new concept. if you go back and you look at George Soros and all of them, what do they have? They have all these systems in place that they've been talking about for years. Who was it that said, he who controls the money controls the population or something like that, and whoever controls the food...
I couldn't tell you the name off the top of my head, sir.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
And they said whoever controls the food controls the people. Now think about that. So food, I mean, that includes water too. And let's look at what's going on with the water. Down in Florida right now, they've got fish that's spiraling, doing circles. They've got their sawfish, which is an endangered species, that's all of a sudden just dying. They're coming up on the banks and stuff. But that's just the ones that they can see. But what about the ones that, you know, they got their own little private cove, or maybe they're out in deeper water and they just die? But they found 20 some of them, and this is happening right now. There's something going on with our water people. Now, they talk about these jets with the chemtrails. Well, the jets are not jets. Those are dispensers. I honestly believe that. At first, I was like, nah, that can't be. That you know, that's just moisture, because I actually, you know, I'm around airplanes and stuff like that. So when the propeller spins around, you'll get moisture, because the propeller actually hits the air so hard and so fast that it keeps beating it, that it separates the moisture right out of the air, and you can see that. But guess what happens immediately afterwards? It's gone. It disappears, right? It's moisture. So it's gone. But now how come if those are not actual chemicals, why is it when you see that jet go miles and miles and miles through the air, why do you think you still see that chemical trail? It's not a chemtrail. Let's call it what it is. It's a chemical trail. And that's not unburnt jet fuel, which is what I was told like way back, I mean, when I was younger. But then you learn, no, wait a minute. Unburnt jet fuel, that's garbage. That doesn't hold weight neither, because that'd be an awful hell of a whole lot of unburnt jet fuel, wouldn't it, Jake?
Sorry, you broke up on me, Mr. Preston. I apologize. You said something about jet fuel and a whole bunch of unburnt jet fuel. Can you give me the context again?
Yeah, well, when you see a jet up in the sky and you see it go from, you know how far, if you look up, you look all the way to the east as far as you can, and then you look all the way to the west. Well, you can watch a jet come from wherever it came from and look the other way. Well, you can literally look for miles and miles. So you can tell that jet has traveled all that way, but yet that same trail is still right there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, sir. I am in no way an expert on chemtrails coming from airplanes, but, you know, it's something to definitely look into for you.
No, I don't need you to look into it.
Okay.
You can look into it for yourself, because
that's what I meant, sir.
Because the point that we're making here, Jake, is that we know that there's something else other than unburnt fuel, and we know that it's not moisture. If it was moisture, it would disappear almost as soon as it happens. I mean, I can prove that, and anybody can watch that right now. Have you ever seen an airplane propeller spin or whatever so fast? You can see the moisture right there going around. But as soon as it stops, or before the propeller even stops, it's gone. That's moisture. It's gone. Okay? Now, if it's jet fuel is so heavy that it might linger for just a little while, but then it would eventually just drop or whatever. There's no way it would go miles and miles and miles. If you watch, you can see videos where they're actually, you know, the people are saying they're trying to block out the sun and stuff. I don't think they're trying to block out the sun. What I think they're doing is they're actually spreading whatever chemicals around, which brings us into something else that I want to... we have a problem with being poisoned. We're being poisoned with our food. You can look at oatmeal that comes from the store right here in America, and that's Quaker Oats. And then you get the same Quaker Oats from over in the UK. Okay, this is a fact. UK, you can read 5 ingredients total. And that's including even the natural flavors. 5 from the Quaker oats that you would get over in the UK. But how many do you think that there are from right here in the United States of America?
You probably know better than me, sir. Please enlighten me.
I haven't counted them, but it's astronomical. I mean, it just keeps going on and on and on. I haven't, and here's the reason why I haven't counted them. Because the one from the UK you can pronounce. It's like dried fruit, it's sugar, and oats, whole words like that. But no, whenever you get to the ones that's here for you and I, Jake, everybody out there, the ones that's for us, they've got like citramelavate and stuff like that, words that you can't even pronounce, and sodium.
Think about.
Right. Yes, exactly. But this food poisoning is what it is. This is food poisoning. The same way with, are you aware of canola, Jake?
Like canola oil? Or
Yeah. Yes.
Is that correct, sir?
Yeah. Well, canola or canola oil. Are you aware of it?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the source. I know about canola oil, though.
Okay. Okay, so you don't know what canola is?
No, I don't.
When I first heard it, I thought canola, because they'd say canola oil, I thought that was just oil, like from corn. I thought they was just calling it canola. Corn and oil put together makes canola, right? So for years I thought, well, that's what it was, but it turns out that I happen to be extremely allergic to canola. I had some people that was actually fixing food, and every time that I would eat there, I'd get sick as all get out. Well, over time, had to figure it out or die, right? So they said, hey, we want you to eat. And I was like scared to eat, but they said, no, just try it. So I ate again, and they said, let us know how you feel tomorrow. And I just knew I was going to be sick that evening. The next day I got up and I was fine. So I called them up and I said, okay, what's going on? And they said, we figured out we was using canola every time, and we switched this time when you came over. We went to olive oil. So that's how I found out. Thankfully there was some people that cared enough to actually try to help me out with the situation. Anyway, so when you look at canola, it's not corn out there, everybody. It's not corn. It's canola. It's a little black, dumb-looking seed that's poison. I'm going to ask you a question here, Jake. Have you ever heard of vegetable oil?
Yes, I have, sir.
Okay. What would you consider cotton to be?
The cotton, sir?
Yeah. Yes.
You talking about the cotton plant or the product that we use?
It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. I mean, I know it. I know it's a plant that's in that the product. What is it? Cotton, not cotton seeds, but we use cotton in our many of our clothes, blankets, anything of that nature, sir.
Yeah.
So, that's about the length I know about that subject, sir. But if you have something to talk about, I'd love to hear, please.
Yeah. Well, let me ask the question again. Would you call it a vegetable, or would you call it a fruit?
I never really thought about it that way, sir.
This ain't a trick question.
I guess it would be a vegetable, I guess.
So you're going to call a cotton plant a veg? Okay. Well, you know what? They're going to love you for this. The makers of cottonseed oil, they're going to love that. Okay. It's not a vegetable, but they classified it as a vegetable. And do you know why they did that? Now, here, let me tell you this first. Cotton seeds were like out of control. They didn't know what to do with them because they had all the cotton and stuff from back in the day. The cotton gin come along. They started picking cotton like crazy. The cotton was wonderful, but they still had all these seeds. What to do with the seeds? They didn't know what to do with them. They was poison. Couldn't do nothing. So somebody said, well, let's smash the oil out of them. So they got the oil out of them. They said, well, it's poisonous to human beings. I don't know how they discovered that. Hey, George, try some of this, George falls over dead or something, but they knew it was deadly to humans. So they said, well, okay, let's use it on machinery. So they started using all the cottonseed oil for machinery. Now, that makes sense. I can roll with that all day long. That's fine. But then they found out that they would still had so much of this oil now that all the machineries in the world could not consume as much oil as they was producing. So what did they do? They brought in engineers and they paid them to make it just so that it wouldn't kill a human being if it was consumed. Now, you couldn't consume a lot of it, but they did make it till where you could consume a little bit and it just wouldn't kill you. So then what did they do? They said, well, how what are we going to do with this? So they started doing what? Have you ever bought vegetable oil? They labeled it, Jake, you're right, as a vegetable. So since it's labeled as a vegetable, when you go and you buy vegetable oil, you think you're getting something squeezed out of a piece of celery or lettuce or something? No, no. You are getting cottonseed oil. You're getting palm oil. You're getting what's the other one that's nasty as all get out? The soybean. Soybean.
Yeah,
that's another one. See, garbage. All of it's garbage.
Yeah, I'm looking at a chart right now, sir. It's cottonseed, palm, coconut, which is surprising. Rice bran oil, never heard of that one, and soybean.
Good.
Those are some of the top ones.
Good.
Used for vegetable oil, apparently.
Good for you. Now, Jake, whenever you when you think about vegetable oil, would you have ever thought about what you just listed there?
No, I never would have thought
It's
cotton
poison.
would be used something we consume.
Yeah, but you are. So when you buy vegetable oil, that's what you're getting. And also, if you get something that says it's a blend, okay, think about that. Why would you blend oil? Here's
to
the
maybe dilute the source. I'm not really sure, sir. But please.
well, but you're on the naive side of the ball there. See, once you come over to the other side where you have to be right now and actually seeing, because you can't call something just for face value the way that it is. You have to call it for what they're intended, because they always take something that's meant for good and then they twist it to be for evil. You know? And what I'm talking about here is when you're looking at a blend, you're right, it makes stuff go further, but it's because they know that if they put straight canola oil in something, you'll die. You can't do just that much canola oil. It'll make you sick as a dog. So they do the blend thing so that they can add a little bit in there, and you won't die right away. And that's the truth. But yet at the same time, like what you said, it makes it go further so they make more money. They want to make you sick, but they don't really want you to die, because a sick person has to keep going in and getting treated. And then, so if you think about it, the same people that are owning these food products that's not food products, but these poison products that they're putting in our food are the same ones that's in with Big Pharma. Because think about it. Wouldn't you want to own an oil plant where you're making money off of the oil, the canola? And then wouldn't you also want to own the drug company that whenever you do get sick and go to the doctor, guess what? I made you sick with the oil here that you was buying, but now you're going to come over here and now you're going to give me money over here because you're going to take the pill that helps you to keep living. It all is connected. It is. And you know what? This is kind of a leap, but it's not really a leap. It's tied right in here. Think about the cartel, what's going on. When you think about the cartel, you think about some Mexican dude with pistolas in there, woohoo! And they're going to shoot up, and rob you, right? No. These are smart individuals. Think about this. Have you ever seen American Made, that movie?
Yes, I have, sir. With Tom Cruise?
Yeah. Okay, that's based on a true story. How cool is that? Wonderful. I recommend that to all y'all out there. If you haven't seen it, definitely.
I do as well.
What's that?
I do as well. Great movie.
Oh, you like the movie also?
Yep, it's fantastic. I've seen it multiple times, sir.
I agree with you. Have you seen The Founder yet?
The Founder, it sounds very familiar, sir.
Michael Keaton?
I don't think I have.
All right, write that down. That's just a side note real quick, and we'll get back to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, made in America, these people had so much money that he literally was, he buys a house. I'm not going to tell you all of it or whatever, but I'll just talk in the, okay, any of these cartel and stuff, they have so much money that they try burying it in 55-gallon drums, and they was losing like count of where it all was at. I mean, can you imagine having so much currency that?
I'm sure you've heard the story that Pablo Escobar had so much money that he had such an excess of money that when his daughter was called, he would just throw $100 bills into the fire to keep it going instead of wood. Use money to burn it. Can you imagine that? Having that much money?
No, and we can't, and nor would I want to, because what would I do if I had that much money? I won't ask somebody else, but let me tell you what I would do if I started seeing I had like ridiculous amounts of money. You know what I'd be doing? No kidding. I'd say, no more paying for school right off the bat. Nobody's paying for school, because any excessive money that I would have like that, I would send in, or actually I wouldn't send it in to nobody, but I would keep track of it, and anybody that wanted to go to school, and you tell me why anybody in the United States, and I'm talking about Americans, I'm not talking about these invaders that's got to go, I'm not talking about these whack jobs right here, but I'm talking about anybody that is true American. They would go to school and they wouldn't pay one dime. Okay, what else would you do? If there's a hospital and there would be a case of, special needs or something like that, the hospitals, wouldn't you have like hospitals set up or whatever to where nobody would have to pay for that? They could just walk in. But why is it that these sick whack jobs, they don't think like that? They don't think like that? Why? What?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even give you an answer there, sir.
Okay, but tell me what I just said. Tell me what I just said, Jake. What would be wrong? What's demonic about what I just said to do with it?
No, I think that's a very honorable thing. Like, I think it was someone with that amount of.
Jake, I apologize. I had to take a sudden break there. Somebody pulled in outside there, so I apologize, everybody out there. But let me re-ask you that, because I apologize if somebody pulled in your driveway like that. You'd want to know, and especially
Yeah, I don't understand going out to check, so no worries there.
Especially like right now, because I'm pointing to this invader right here, and man, do you still have that pulled up, Jake?
Yes, I'm looking at him still.
Okay, I want you to look at his skin. This dude is in great shape. He is clean. He's got on a new hoodie sweater. I mean, his teeth looks amazing. I mean, this dude's been brushing good. And this dude is in shape. And you know what? He's ready. You know what? If you watch the rest of that little clip, you'll see where he says that's his new profession, is going and invading the houses here and taking them over and making money. Watch the rest of it. It's going to blow your mind. And I encourage all you guys to go and watch all of this right here. We may do that here, right here, but I don't. But these, okay, the reason why we was discussing so much money like that. Okay, I told you some of the things that I would do. Heaven forbid. What about if like the roads were bad? If I still had excess money and stuff like that, couldn't you like get behind like better roads to drive on and stuff? But yet we have billions of dollars that this Biden regime just throwed away over in Iraq. And see, everybody acts like, well, what can we do about it? Well, I'm doing it right here. You guys are seeing what to do. This is first and foremost. Call your representative. 202-224-3121. Jake right here is a wonderful answer machine. Charles is a great answer machine. But call them up. These guys actually sound like they care, which is awesome. And I will go back and make that point what I was going to say. If these guys right here can show us that they're actually thinking like Americans, that they're Americans that happen to be doing jobs for us, okay, that tells me that Jake has an understanding of that our Constitution has to come, God's first and foremost, but our Constitution has to be in these guys' mind and in their heart when they take these positions. Because if not, look where we're at right now. We're in trouble. We are in trouble. We ain't seen nothing yet, and we're talking about we are right now still in the early part of 2024. Now, back to what we was talking about with the money thing. The cartel, they're not guys running around with pistolas in the air. Woohoo! They're not. They do have ridiculous amounts of money. I mean, stupid amounts of money. What would you do with it? If you're in another country or somewhere and you have all this money and you see the United States and how well that they're doing, and you know that the very dinero that you have so much of, comes from that country, take it over. That's what they did. Now they're in the minds of the prosecutors, and not in the minds, but they're in the pockets, or they have them in their pockets now because they paid for the prosecutors all across the United States. Now that's George Soros' money. That came from George Soros, but he's not alone, because you have the cartel, which we're calling cartels, but you have to understand the cartel is not who you may have in your mind. I don't know, maybe you guys got it figured out, and I know some of you probably got it figured out way better than I do. But in this situation, that this is clearly what's already happened. It's not going to happen. Look, it already happened. So what we have to do is we need a law, something that makes people accountable right away. Like when you see one of these invaders, and there's people walking around and they're talking to them on the internet. They're asking them, where are you staying at? Oh, yeah, what brings you here? Yeah, where are you from? I'm blown away. I mean, I am absolutely like, what in the hell is going on here? Because I'm telling you right now, if there's an invader standing in front of me, and I know he don't belong to the United States of America, I'm not going to finish my thought. They don't need to be here. But where is the Americans at? Where is the law? Because without laws, you don't have a society. And I'm telling you, I'm sorry?
Yeah, I mean, we need to have laws to uphold society and, keep order.
Yeah.
I agree on that point.
Well, let me ask you something personal. You don't have to answer this, Jake, if you don't want to, but do you have any personal property?
I prefer not to talk about anything personal, sir, and I hope you appreciate that.
No, that's okay. That's why I call you an answer machine, see? Because it's as simple as this, Jake. If we have personal property, if you have anything that you consider personal property, okay, you are going against what they are trying to create. Listen very carefully. They said you will own nothing and be happy. Okay, so that means the clothes that you have on your back, you don't get to see them as yours. That you've been given them by George Soros or one of these other ones, or the cartel or whoever. And who's the cartel? That's kind of a generic thing. You have to pin this down to a name. See, this is why I'm saying that Brad Wenstrup needs to do something, because we need a law put in place that says that if Brad is not going to do something now, that we're going to bypass him. And why am I going to be paying Brad if he is not doing what we want done? And I'm not the only one saying this. This is everybody that I talk to. How many times for years and years, whenever you'd be talking to somebody and they say, well, what's the sense in voting? They just put in whoever they want to, and that's quite obvious. Let me point out something. Look up in Ohio right now, where the guy from, is it not Nigeria? Where's he from?
Somalia, sir.
Somalia. Wow, look at you, Jake. There you go.
Yes,
Wow.
it's the Ohio District 3 Democrat primary.
District 3 primary. Yes, a Democrat, Somalian, just won. What? He don't even speak English. Okay, look, there's nothing wrong with good change or something, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're not talking about good change. And in order to do something for the people, you have to understand the people. And it's clear that this guy here is not, because if you look at everybody surrounding him, they're all from the same place. And that's not good. See, we call this the melting pot. Oh, here's another law that I want done. I need for him to put in a law that says that if you're an American and you want to be in a certain place or whatever, and because like right now you have these Somalians and everybody else that's coming in, and they like what we have, but they don't want to do what it takes to have it. And we need a new law. We need another law. But actually, we probably won't even. I don't think we have enough time to wait for that law to take effect. I think what's going to happen is I think the Second Amendment is going to come into effect, which it's already been in effect. I think the Second Amendment is already been enacted a long time ago, because
I mean, it's been part of the Constitution from the very beginning, sir. And we don't plan on. We do not want to take that away from you, sir.
well, but the stupidity. Wait a minute. What do you mean we don't want to take that away? You can't take that away. It's mine.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's some people who want to limit your Second Amendment right, and this office does not want to do that.
Yeah. What? Okay, there's no office going to do that. And Jake, just so you understand, I know how you're trying to mean that right now, but let me assure you that I'm telling you, I am like-minded, and I will say this as bluntly and as clear as I can. That is my God-given right. That is what America is about. We have guns here. And if you don't like it, go away. Go away. Okay? Just like all these invaders and stuff are coming here, and they like what we have, but they don't even understand how it is that we have it or how that we're going to keep it. And I'm telling you right now, and I'm telling everybody, because everybody that I know, we all know how this goes. It's ours. You can't have it. You're not going to get it. Nobody's taking it from us. We will win this. It clearly says, the Second Amendment, it says not only is it our right to do it, but it's our obligation to do it. That means if you don't feel like that you want to do it, tough. You have to do it. It's an obligation. You have to do it. And do you know, have you ever watched a war movie or anything like that, and you see the people that's on the front lines, like, you know, they're goners, you know, especially like back in the bayonet days and stuff like that. Okay, you knew them.
No, absolutely, sir. And, you know, one of my favorites is, I'm sure you've seen, is Saving Private Ryan. It's probably the most accurate war film that's ever been produced out of Hollywood. I mean, it still doesn't even come close to actual combat, but I think my great-grandfather was, he didn't come in the first wave, but it was D-Day +3, but he was in Patton's Second Army. He was involved with liberating Bastogne for the 101st Airborne, and so I have a deep appreciation for, you know, the armed services, especially the Army. I had I think it was a great uncle who he was a pilot in the Pacific Theater, and he sadly went down in the Battle of New Britain. So I have a deep appreciation, and my family has a deep appreciation of the armed services. And, you know, what matters more is that the congressman does, and this office does as well.
Yeah, well said. Yeah, absolutely. I have a tremendous respect for those people, and I'm glad you did that, because it's a perfect segue back to another point that I was going to make. and until you went wonker on me there a little bit ago, and then didn't want to answer whether you have personal property or not. It's kind of a silly thing. I know you do. So, but
I don't like to talk about my personal.
well, it was it. Yeah, and I let you have a pass, but I know. So I'm just making a statement here. I'm not asking a question. I'm just saying that I know that you have personal property because you're sitting there with clothes on. Okay, but this is my point. They don't want you to have. Do you understand the words? You'll own nothing. Okay, it's right there in what they say. Nothing. You won't have clothes. You won't have. If you have anything, it won't belong to you. You see what I'm saying here? Okay.
I understand, sir. It sounds, like a communist society, which is not something we want.
But that's where we're at. And when you won't talk to me, like, and this is the segue that I wanted, because when you see somebody like a border patrol person or something like that, or when you see a what should be a peace officer that is law enforcement now, somehow, some way, garbage. But when you see them go out, okay, let me point this out. We're talking about these invaders, from the invaders that come here. Okay, I can show you another clip. Actually, it's on the same one. Back that up to the beginning. If you still have that pulled.
What timestamp, sir?
It doesn't matter. If you back that up to the very beginning of that, we'll be right back. Okay, so anyway, you have, my point is you have the cops that come here. They clearly know that this lady here owns it because she has a deed in her hand. Okay? So, but then this guy here with the toboggan on is a home invader, a squatter, and he moves in, and here he is blatantly right in front of the person that owns the property with the cops standing there, and the cops know that this guy is not being truthful and stuff. He doesn't have anything to show. He has no lease. He has no paperwork. There's no furniture in here or anything. But because he found out that if you move into a property like that, that it takes 30 days. Now, here's the point that I'm making. The police officers here are in a bad situation, but man, why don't they simply say, you know what, this is wrong. We know you don't belong here, but you are going to go to court and you will be thrown out of here. And I'm going to make sure that I'm working that day to make sure, you know what, words matter. If these would convey to the owner of the property those very words, it would make a difference. Just like when Jake, the answer machine, actually threw in his 2 cents a while ago, or not 2 cents, I apologize for that. No, his amazing words and letting us know that, hey, this is an American too that happens to be in a position where he has to kind of watch what he says and stuff like that. And I get that. I understand that. But we have to be Americans first. For Americans. But when you're looking, and right here is the property owner right here. This lady here, this is the lady that actually owns the house. And so in comes these invaders, and she, right here, so she gets them out of the house. They walk out, and she calls a locksmith to come and change the lock on the doors. But while she's in here, the invaders walk back in and barge in the door with her trying to hold the door closed. And they barged in, and then they call the cops. So it's literally using our laws against us. This is what all of the... And we're not just talking about the trashy invaders. We're talking about the invaders that's already been here. I know because I personally had it to happen to me. When I built the apartments and stuff, they would pretend that they had stuff, and then once they got in there, they wouldn't pay. And it went months and months and months before I could take them to and then I had to pay for that to get them evicted. Look, this is another thing that we need for Bill to work on. Okay, Florida's already passed something, so why aren't we? Why haven't we passed something like an emergency, if you've got a squatter on you? Because this is all part of them trying to do the own nothing and be happy scheme thing. And happy has no part being in it, because in our Constitution and stuff, it says we have the right and the pursuit of happiness, So anyway, yeah, we've got to do something. You got to have teen. I have heart problems right now from it. And that's another thing. They give me, I have a I have a $30,000 bill from the hospital because the government, and I'm talking to Bill right here too. Bill owes me. You tell him he owes me, or Brad, tell Brad, I'm sorry, Bill Johnson or what.
No worries, sir.
But you tell Brad that he owes me $30,000 that he didn't protect us from, we the people, and some of us, we can't even be talking right now because they're dead. And I'm probably going pretty close to the line here on YouTube, ain't I? But there's some people that's not around now because of the after 18, before 20 thing that happened. And but the ones that are, some of us, we don't even have the full length of our life now. And I'm sitting here as proof as one of them. I was the only one that got out of CCU. The only one to this day that come out of CCU from where I was hospitalized at. The only one. And then the whole time, before I even called, and then when they come in and they said, well, we got some bad news for you. He said, well, you do have, I said, well, that means it's paid for, right? Not, am I going to be okay? I said, is it going to be paid for? Yep, it's all paid for. Every step of the way, before I even left the hospital and everything. They wanted me to see other heart doctors and stuff, specialists. I literally just found out about my ticker, being 33% damaged. I said, well, okay, you want me to come right in right away? They said, well, you've got another appointment, right? And I said, yeah, but it's like 3 weeks away or whatever. They said, yeah, that's fine. Just come to that one. Okay, that's where our country's at. That's how bad. Okay, so I'm like, oh, okay, well, thanks for calling me and telling me that I'm, struggling here with my heart. But, yeah, well, let's just put you off for 3. So anyway, it was what it was. The day before I was to go in, they called me and said I needed to pay the whole entire bill or they wasn't going to see me. They wasn't going to tell me. And to this day, I still haven't found out what's going on or anything. So I'm struggling. I struggle with that each and every day. And you know what? That is one of my driving forces behind creating this channel, was because nobody else is speaking up, and I don't hear anybody else, around here that's doing what it is that I'm doing. I may not be the greatest at it yet, but I'm learning, and I'm going to keep doing it until something changes, or you guys get tired of me, which I appreciate. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate everybody that has subscribed for sure. So, but you see, I need that money because I don't like owing anybody any money, and this is something just like when we was talking about. If you go to the bank, you get a loan, and then you buy a piece of property, and somebody tells you that they're going to pay you for being in there, which, don't get me wrong, that's not really the bank's problem. I mean, if you buy a property and then you say, okay, well, that's your decision to rent it out, then that's on you. I mean, I get that. But my point is, you can't go and tell the bank, hey, I'm trying to get my rent money. No, you just got to go ahead and pay that. But it's like a totally different standard, because the bank, if you don't pay the bank, they can go and put a lock on there and you won't get your property. But yet, if you do that to a squatter, okay, they will come and put you in jail because you tried to take your property. See what I mean? That's double standard. You can't do that. So anyway, yeah, I need Brad to write me a check, and so that I can take care of that. And
I will definitely try to engage with the
Don't you find that kind of like absurd? So even though I was within the time frame, like I was in January, it wasn't until like March 27th or something like that when they said to actually not take any more new ones. But I was already in the system and stuff. I'd already been and all that long before they said they ran out. But they wouldn't pay the bills that needed to be paid when I was told clearly that they would be. Now, if the roles was reversed on that, like if you're the electric company or something like that, if they was to say, hey, you didn't pay your bill, we're going to turn off your electric or whatever. Well, guess what happens if you don't pay your bill? They turn your electric off, right? So, well, how come it is that the government said they was going to pay this, which rightfully so, that's the least they can do, seeing how they're the ones that did not protect we the people. And I'm talking about Brad and the mailman and anybody else that takes a check that comes from we the people. I don't care if it's 1 cent. If you take 1 cent from we the people in any way, you are the government. And you answer to we the people. And this all pertains, it all is very important. There's not any of it that's minimal. There's none of it that should be put on the back burner. All of these things apply and more. I mean, I could keep going and going and going. I'm not going to because this is enough right here, right now to start with. We got to have Brad. He needs to make an emergency bill. I don't know what he does. You know what? That's a very good question. What is it that he does? Like when he gets something like that, when he gets an order from we the people like this, what does he do in order to enact something? Does he get a hold of DeWine up there, or what happens? What's the procedure on that?
That is the very basics when it comes to working in the House, sir.
Okay, but I need him to go outside of the normal here because these are not normal times. I literally need him to be like, what was his name? William Tell. What was the guy that the British is coming? What was it?
Paul Revere.
Paul Revere. All right, we need him to be like Paul Revere, and we need him to bypass all the normal whatevers because we don't have the time for that. Now, see, in war, let me ask you something. In times of war, which we are in right now, do you always want to take the regular steps? This is exactly my point that I'm discussing right now. It's actually not a discussion. We need Brad to understand we are at war. We are at war. And the people that's at war is we Americans. And I'm talking about true Americans. Red, white, and blue Americans. Not green, white, purple, or anything else. We're all Americans. And I'm talking about the real Americans, not the invasion, not the invaders. But so that's what I'm telling you. We need a Paul Revere moment here where he needs to bypass people, and we need to put some kind of emergency something in place that says, because I'm going to tell you, and I mean, actually, I can't tell you because I'm on here, but I know this right now. I am American, and that Second Amendment means something to me. All those amendments mean something. And I'm telling you, I don't know how these people are just walking up and talking to these invaders and stuff without telling them, get the hell out of here. You know? But here's the thing. How do you do that when the monkey himself, the crypt keeper up there, done all this garbage? Look, we know what happened with 2020. We know that was a bunch of nonsense. We know that. But how come that there's nothing happening? All these guys, Jim Jordan and all of them, they're up there and they're squawking and they're yapping about a bunch of stuff. And just like with Hunter Biden and so on and so forth. But everybody's saying the same thing. Everybody I know says they keep running their mouths and they're not doing anything. We want something done. And if they don't know what the something is to do, invite me. You won't have to invite me. Tell me, say, come up or ask me. I'll be glad to tell you. Not on this channel or whatever where you don't have free speech and stuff. But I'm telling you right now, let me come up there. If y'all don't know how to run things, I'll guarantee you I'll do a much better job. It is simple as this. I hear what all the people out here are telling me. So what would be it's so hard about just going and then doing what it is that I've already been told to do? If I asked the people right now, I'd say, what color do you like the best? They would write in, and then I would add up the majority of whatever color that is, and I'd say, okay, that's the color I'm going with. If I said, which way should I go, right or left? And they write in and the majority or whatever, you know? Now that's democracy. And we don't live in a democracy. We live in a what?
Say it again, sir. You broke up on me.
I think that's his go-to when he's not listening. I think that's what he's doing to me. What do you think?
Our connection's been a little
wonky. Okay, all right. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Can you repeat that, though?
Yeah, if do we live in a democracy?
Yes, sir.
No, we don't.
Oh, it's a democratic republic. There's democratic features to our government, sir.
Right. But there is a difference.
Yes, sir.
There's a huge difference. So to call it a democracy is like saying an apple is a rock. It's not the same. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely.
See, we have to be careful. Jake, look, I'm going to tell you something. I like you. You're growing on me. I'm not kidding you. All except for the one little boo-boo.
Good job as an answer machine, sir.
Well, you know what? So far, you're coming up to be the runner-up for Charles. I really like Charles, too.
No, I understand. Charles is a tough act.
But you know, listen, now I'm going to tell you something. You guys are absolutely no kidding. And I say this in the most humble of ways. But I do respect you guys. I think that you guys are amazing. The fact that at least you know who it is and what it is that you're doing there, I honestly feel that way. And that is where we need to start at. I mean, you have to have a desire to do something or you're not going to be able to do it. And
we really appreciate that, sir. And there's a lot of
well, easy, because you
really want to change things for the better. And so, like I said, we really appreciate that. And
so what kind of calls?
Here to serve the district,
What kind of calls do you get each day?
What topics, sir? It goes all over the place.
Yeah. What kind of topics are we talking?
Well, it depends on the week. Sometimes it's about the border. Sometimes it's about the Bidens.
Okay. Now here, you said sometimes. So you mean to tell me right now there's a day that goes by that you don't hear about we need a border?
Let me rephrase that. So when I say sometimes, it fluctuates. So like we always hear about the border every day. I should have led with that. It's just sometimes you hear more about it than the other days. But it's a constant topic of constant fear that we hear from the constituents. Concern is a better word. Excuse me. That we hear from the constituents, and it is something that we're always thinking about. And the boss is always here. The congressman's always thinking about as well.
Did you just call him the boss?
No, I work for him. I serve him, sir. I help him serve the Ohio 2nd District.
But you know who he works for, right?
Absolutely, sir. Ohio 2nd District.
No. Let's get it correct here. Come on now, don't.
American people.
That's right. What just like with the, well, I won't go off that direction. But why is it so hard for you guys to say that? Is that demeaning? No, really. I'm going to ask you. Do you think that's demeaning when you say that you work for We the People?
No, absolutely not.
Well, why did it have to?
Well, I mean, if we're going from a technical standpoint, the congressman does represent Ohio's second district, which is 770,000 people in southern southeast Ohio. And very happy to say a lot of my family's from Gallia County. I did a lot of work in Jackson and Gallia as well, so I'm very proud to help the congressman serve this area. I have a lot of deep ties here, and ultimately we do serve the American people as well here at the federal level.
And ultimately, we serve the. Really, there is a problem with somebody saying that they serve the American people. Do you know how easy that is for me to say that I serve the American people? I serve the American people, and I'm not even getting paid for that. But why is that such a strain for you guys? You guys will say that you work for the boss. You'll say that you work for the government. You'll say you work for the state. You'll say that you work for the representative. You'll say that you work for Mickey Mouse. Way before that you'll say that you guys work for the American people. And that is such a low down, dirty, crying, sad shame. That is a shame. Because just like with our police officers and stuff, they should be peace officers. And they have a real problem. Look at all the videos that you see or anything. If anybody ever asks them, say, no, you work for me. Boy, they just can't stand that. They can't stand that. Well, if it's so bad for working for the American people, then why are you in America? That's what I would ask anybody out there that's in a government that takes any kind of money from We the People. And that's the peace officers or anything else, Torture cuffs has got to go. That's a ridiculous thing to have also. I'll just throw that in there. But yeah, that we're going to work on that. We're going to see if we can't start changing that, because are you aware of the Christian nationalists now that somebody come out with that was supposed to be a bad thing? They started calling people Christian nationalists. Well, I'm here to tell you, and I'm going to claim being an American Christian nationalist loud and proud. That's who I am. And I do serve the American people. I work for you. And that's why I'm doing right here what I'm doing right now. I know there's probably people out there that's way better at it. They probably sound way better doing it. And for Pete's sake, they definitely probably do it way easier than I can do it. But I am as genuine as I can be. And that's why that I'm doing this. People kept asking me to write a book and so on and so forth. And I decided to do this because if you write a book, once you write a book, those words are wrote down. If you do learn something later and you want to go back and change it, it's a little harder than just saying like on here, hey, I learned something. Here's what I think now, But anyway, listen, I'm going to let you go, Jake. I really do appreciate you. I mean that wholeheartedly. I really hope this is something that's so hard for people to do. But when they hear somebody saying something, 9 times out of 10, they won't walk away and say, hey, you know what? Maybe they had a point. Maybe I could change. Because they think that that's so demeaning to them. It's not. The people that I ultimately look up to, respect, and really admire are the ones that can say that they're sorry. The ones that can say, hey, I made a mistake. The ones that can say...
Absolutely. If you can acknowledge your mistakes, you learn from them.
Yeah. Yeah, because...
I try to live by that way. A lot of our staff does as well. And, it's something to think about, sir.
All right, who do you work for?
American people.
Hey, you know what? That was huge right there. No kidding. Say it again. What did he say? Yeah, you know what? That truly was awesome. I'm not kidding you. Hey, y'all, shout out, man, on the comments there about what he just did there. Tell me what you think about that. That was pretty cool. Hey, that's our new buddy answer machine that works for We the People at Brad Wenstrup's office. So, yeah, write in and tell me what you think of that. That is pretty cool. Jake, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Please deliver that message for we the people, if you would.
I'll be happy to, sir.
All right. Hey, have a great evening, brother.
All right, have a good one.
God bless America.
You too.
Hey, man, how cool was that? That was good. I love ending like that. That was pretty huge, you know. But it's true. So many people that they get their butt hurt or something like that, and they just want to double and triple down on it going the wrong way. But let's get back to something here. I think before that I jump off of here, I do want to show you this. We'll be right back. Let me find it. I'll be right back. All right, we're back here. This is Mark Dice here. Amazing dude. Great. I mean, just one of my favorites to watch. Here is a home invader. I don't know if he's a illegal or whatever invader. He might just be a legal invader. But he occupies the house of an American who has a deed and stuff like that. But this next invader is definitely not supposed to be here invader, and he is screaming about he's wanting to tell all of his other ones that's already here of what to do, which is to take over your properties and stuff. And I want you to look at his face, and I want you to listen to his voice and read what he's saying and stuff, because he doesn't speak English. So let's get into this here.
Ruling class. But guess who else is learning about these loopholes? The criminal invader illegal aliens. And now they're sharing their wisdom on TikTok, encouraging others to do the exact same thing. Mi gente!
Okay, I don't know. It says, I have to, you know what? I'm just going to play it all the way through first and let you guys watch it, and then we'll rewind it there or whatever. Let me just...
They're sharing their wisdom on TikTok, encouraging others to do the exact same thing. Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en United States, ya que me enteré que existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la de invasión de terreno. Y creo que ese será mi próximo negocio. Invadir casas abandonadas. Ya que me he buscado unos códigos con mis amigos africanos. Y me dijeron que ya llevan como 7 casas expropiadas. Y como dice el dicho, papi, hay que buscar la vuelta. Y la vuelta ahorita mismo es invadir casas, ya que nos encontramos en situación de calle y es la única manera que tenemos para no vivir en la calle y no ser una carga pública. Capichi, la ley dice que las casas abandonadas, deterioradas y que esté en mal estado, podemos llegar y repararlas, vivir en ella y si podemos venderla, hasta pedir créditos con ella. ¿Qué dicen ustedes? So that's why that...
You know, I don't know if I can stand to even listen to that again, but he is saying invading a house in the United States. We found out there's a law that says that if a house isn't occupied, that we can take it over and use it however we want to. Even get credit on it or to sell it. That's what he says right here. Look it up. Unbelievable. The insanity just keeps coming. So this dude here is telling all the ones that's already here, hey, go find houses. All right. Now, where are they going to find houses at? Do you think the majority of them is going to be in the cities and stuff? No, because if you look at his surroundings here, it looks like he done made his way out of the cities there. And this is their plan. I mean, that's why they picked out the cities, like pack them into the cities, and then so they just spread out from there. And then sooner or later, it's just like an infection or whatever, which we're infected now because it's throughout. And just like a cancer, that's the problem with cancer. How do you get it out of the body without tearing up the rest of it? We're in trouble. I'm telling you. But guess what? They might have a little trouble of their own. So let's go over here and check out this here lovely little stupidity here. Okay, check this out.
The general election ticket, and this could be another congressman in the state of Ohio if he wins. Here is his victory speech after he won the primary. Yes, he is speaking a foreign language. He is speaking in Somali. This is basically the male version of Ilhan Omar. And
okay, so there you go. That's and here's another little tidbit for you. Look, it just keeps getting dumber. Look,
I realize this video is kind of a down.
Here's some more
Firearms.
Look here.
A judge in Illinois has ruled that the criminal invader, illegal aliens, should be allowed to buy firearms, claiming that it's a violation of their Second Amendment rights if they're not allowed to. So,
do we need to say anything else? The hits just keep coming. I mean, it's like one right after another, right after another. I am at a loss for words. It all belongs to the Lord. And thank goodness, because the monkeys that's been running this country, look where they've driven us to, And I'm going to leave you with this that I know that so many of you out there already know because we've talked about it, but they are trying to water us down so bad that we don't even matter. And when I say us, I mean Christians, not only Americans. I can't think of one person that I know right now that is not struggling somehow, some way from all this stupidity that's going on. You know why that you can't go out and you can't find a job? Let's throw Tyson food in there real quick. When you go to the store, I'm not buying Tyson anything. I don't care what it is. They have laid off a bunch of their workforce or whatever so that they can just hire the invaders. If you are a business owner of any kind, and you hire one invader, you are an invader. You are a treasonous traitor. And I have no use for you. Because if you have a business and you say, oh, that's my business, whatever. You don't need that business. You don't need it like that. We don't own anything already, if you think about it. because they're telling us that if we don't pay our taxes, that they're going to take it, your land. So, what's the sense, right? Well, if you have that kind of mentality, and that's really, really your line of thinking, then you've already lost. But we're all going to have to band together, stick together. We're all going to have to stand up and actually do something. Now, for right now, call your representative. 202-224-3121. You'll talk to an answer machine, but that's okay, because as you see, some of them answer machines, there's actually Americans in there somewhere. And I genuinely know, I know that they care truly. But, it's like everything else. We just got to get everything put back on the tracks. After a while, if you leave something go and you don't grease it or you don't give it attention or something like that, it kind of gets run down. It kind of gets off course a little bit and stuff. But, you got to kind of go back and, do your upkeep or preventative maintenance every once in a while. Because if not, this is where we get to, But this country is designed around that if you work hard, or if you just work smart, or both, that you'll be rewarded for that, But why do these people take the currency or money, whatever, and then do such evil stuff with it? Like, well, let's feed them fake meat. Well, let's give them bug burgers. What is up with that? I don't understand evilness. I don't want to understand it. I just like to eradicate it. So anyway, all right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up here, but check into Tyson Food for sure, man. That's a big story also. So God bless America. God bless you and yours. We're praying for you. Thanks for praying for us. If you've stuck around this far and watched this video, Kim, Charlotte, Dave, all of yous out there, hey, I appreciate every one of yous. Thanks for helping me grow the channel, man. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Every one of yous. So big shout out. Anyway, love you, Lord. Love you, boss. Peace out.